Many people sometimes ask, I make a lot of dua, but why isn't Allah answering my dua? What if I told you that your dua is actually being answered, just not in the way you think? What if I told you that sometimes Allah not answering you the way you want to be answered is actually better for you? This is one of the questions that I get asked a lot, and I actually just recently got asked this question again. And I think that this could be a source of grief for some people because they've been making dua for a long time. But when you look at the Quran, when you look at the Sunnah, you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they've clarified to us that there's no reason to be upset. And there are only reasons to put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. And your Lord has said that call upon me and I will answer you. So this is a general guarantee from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our du'as are going to be answered. Does this mean that it has to be given to you in the exact way that you asked? And the answer is no. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in an authentic hadith reported by Ahmad, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, "Ma min muslimin yad'u bi da'watin laysa fiha ithmun wala qati'atu rahim." The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said that any Muslim who makes a dua in which there's no sin. Why is this an important condition? Because if your dua has a sin, imagine you ask Allah to destroy someone, but that person is innocent. This dua is not going to be answered. Or imagine someone asks Allah to grant them the ability to commit a sin, right? Someone wants to be in a haram relationship. This is a dua that's not going to be answered because it violates the conditions of dua. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said that any Muslim, right? Let's go back to the hadith. Any Muslim who makes a dua that doesn't entail a sin, nor does it entail the breaking of any family relationships, right? It doesn't break the ties of kinship. Imagine someone makes dua that Allah separate them from their immediate relatives. This is not a dua that's going to be accepted. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in an authentic hadith, "Ma min muslimin yad'u bi da'watin laysa fiha ithmun wala qati'atu rahim illa a'tahu biha ihda thalath." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that any Muslim who makes a dua that does not entail any sin, and it doesn't entail breaking the ties of kinship, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant him with that dua three things. Meaning there are three ways that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer this dua. The dua doesn't have any sin, and the dua doesn't have any breaking of ties of kinship. Meaning if someone asks Allah for these things, their dua is not going to be answered. So there are conditions of dua, and sometimes someone doesn't fulfill the conditions of dua. Maybe that's the reason why their dua is not accepted. For example, imagine someone has shirk in their dua, or someone is being in a rush. There's a hadith in Bukhari Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the dua of one of you is going to be answered as long as he doesn't rush. And the Prophet ﷺ, he clarified what it means to rush. He said that one of you makes dua, and he says that I've been making dua and Allah has not been answering my dua. So verbalizing your feeling like this is being in a rush. And maybe that's the very reason why the dua is not being answered. So we have to ensure that we're fulfilling the conditions of dua and we're not doing things that prevent the dua from being accepted. Let's go back to the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned that three things are going to happen. Allah is going to grant you one of three things. He said, إِمَّا أَن يُعَجِّلَ لَهُ دَعْوَةً. The first thing is that either Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He grants you your request and He hastens it for you the way that you asked it. You asked Allah to allow you to find something you lost, and now you found it, right? You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a job or for a particular spouse, and you get married to that person, or you get the job. That's the first way, but this is not the only way. The second way, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, وَإِمَّا أَن يَدَّخِرَهَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will keep the reward of your dua for you in the akhirah. That means you're not getting anything tangible in this dunya, but on the day of judgment, you are going to get it there. Which would you actually rather? If you were to get something in this dunya versus getting it on the day of judgment, where people are going to be in the greatest state of need, you would rather get it on the day of judgment. So this is actually something better for you, but you may not see it right now. The third way, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, وَإِمَّا أَن يَصْرِفَ عَنْهُ مِنَ السُّوءِ مِثْلَهَا. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove evil from you, the likes of which you asked for. That means you ask for something good, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He doesn't grant it to you the way that you asked for. He doesn't keep it for you in the akhirah, but He keeps away an equivalent level of evil from you. So you are going to be answered in one of these three ways. And just because it's not done in the way that you like doesn't mean that there's no answer. Now, some people may look at this from a qadar, from a predestination standpoint. And they may say that what's the point of making dua anyway if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knows what's going to happen? We have to understand something, and that is that what is going to happen is by Allah's qadar, that's destined, but also the means of that is also destined as well. And perhaps the means of something coming about that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows about and He has willed and decreed is because of a dua that we make that He knows about, that He has willed and decreed. So we can't separate the means from the effects that we're trying to bring about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He decrees the goal, He decrees the result, but He also decrees the means of that as well. So perhaps the means of something that we want is actually us making dua for it as well. And we have to ask ourselves a question: why do we make dua? We make dua because there's something that we want. How do we know that we want this thing? How did our need for this thing come into reality? It's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it there. We make a dua to get out of a difficult situation. How did that difficult situation come about? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it there. Why did Allah put that difficult situation, that need in our lives? So that we will come to Him. Some people, they miss the whole point of dua. They make dua so that they can get something from the creation. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He put that need in our lives so that we would draw nearer to Him. Sometimes the point of dua is not just getting what you're asking for, but it's about getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some people totally lose the plot. And sometimes having more needs in your life for some people is actually better for them than for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make their lives easy without any need, without any difficulty. Sufyan ibn Uyayna, one of the early Muslims, may Allah have mercy on him, he said that what the servant of Allah dislikes is better for him than what he likes. Because what he dislikes pushes him to make dua, but what he likes distracts him from it. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows from some of us that if He were to make our lives so easy without any need, maybe we would turn away from Him and we wouldn't have any connection. And we have to understand something, that when we make dua, sometimes it's not about what we get, but it's about the connection that we build. Sometimes that's more worthwhile, that's more valuable than what we're asking for. So I'll give you an analogy. Imagine someone goes into a king, and this is a just king, this is a generous king. They have a debt that they need to be paid off. So they go into the king's court and they say, "Your Highness, can you please give me this amount of money because I have a debt and I'm coming to you because you're generous." Imagine the king doesn't give the king doesn't give you your need. That's the case, right? Maybe us making dua is forming this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is better than everything in this world and everything that we could possibly ask for. Maybe that's the case. Remember, there are three ways of Allah answering your dua. One of the reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't give us what we ask for the way that we ask for it, maybe the reason why He averts an evil from us instead of granting us what we ask for, is because maybe what we're asking for is actually bad. In the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. And perhaps you dislike something and it's good for you. And perhaps you love something and it's bad for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And Allah knows and you don't know. That's the reality of things. We don't know what is truly best for us. Sometimes you might ask Allah to allow you to marry this person. Maybe it doesn't work out and you're so upset. But maybe in 10 years' time, you realize that that person murdered their spouse, or that they ended up to be an abuser. And you realize, subhanAllah, that you dodged a bullet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Hakim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Tayyib. He is good. He is all-wise. Everything that He decrees is because of a perfect wisdom. It's because of a good that He intends to bring about in the creation. So it's very important for us to have husnul dhan, to have good assumptions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, he said that I am not concerned with the answer of my dua. I'm only concerned with dua. Because if I make dua, then the answer will definitely come with it.